Just give me a minute. Good afternoon, everybody. And this is Dr. Anju Deshpande. Many of you know me very well, and some of you don't know me. So I'll just give a brief introduction about myself and start with a presentation. I graduated from Nagpur Veterinary College in 1992. Then I post-graduated from KAU, Kerala Agricultural Veterinary College, Kerala Agricultural University, Manuti, in 1995 in VPH. And I have forgotten right now about my presentation because of IBD, RD, liver disease, and you know how much we are involved in our poultry business. So everybody is into poultry, and we always talk about poultry. This time I have come up with a different subject, particularly for the brethren who are working in poultry industry. They have lot of work on their and lot of responsibilities on their shoulder. So somebody suggested in the committee member that I should take this work-life balance subject, which is not being taught in our college, but somehow I got to learn it myself, and I would like to share few things with you. So let us all forget about poultry for next 20 minutes and concentrate on ourselves, please. So how we are going to achieve the work-life balance, and there are a lot of presentations and other things on net, but we don't get time to actually go through it, relate it to ourselves, and make some changes. So my effort will be, as the number of the life members were increasing every day, so where my heart beats, so I have to face all technical people and give them something which is more like a substance to them, and which is not available on the net, and I try to make justice to your 20 minutes which I'll be taking hereafter. So here comes my presentation about achieving work-life balance. So I want to ask few questions in this 20 minutes. Please answer yourself, and please get involved in this process of how to achieve this balance. So in work-life balance, there are two things: work and life. So what is the work? What is the work? Why do you work? Forget about poultry. Any person, why do we work? There are good reasons to work, and there are not very good reasons to work. So next slide. I won't tell you, just relate. Next slide. So I would like to you all to concentrate on these things, like it is whether it is for money, whether it is for the continuity of our employment, whether it is for family responsibility, productivity, sense of achievement, and personal job satisfaction. All these things are good reason, very good reason to work, and that's why we keep working up to the age till we can move. But there are some not very good reason to work. So this is the part, my brethren, we have to look into. If we are only working hard and giving all our time for the sense of being needed, by whom? And whether it is the easiest way to keep yourself occupied. So why don't you go for the harder way? Whether it is agreed, dil mange more. Somebody was talking about numbers, dil mange more, we want more numbers. In the, in salary, in our material possession, in our whatever. So are we working for that? So you have to internalize to find the work balance, why we are working, whether we are working for good reason or not so very good reason. And then we have to concentrate about what is about life. So I have been talking about these things to many veterinarians. I have been on dais for hundreds of hours. In my initial days when I was working for the United Hatcheries Private Limited in Hyderabad, I worked very hard on breeder farm. I must be the only lady veterinarian who worked there and stayed there. Later, I worked for Tarkeshwara Hatcheries Private Limited. There also I worked and learned everything for laboratory and all the diseases and everything. And later, when I joined government, I got a opportunity to teach veterinarians. As in class, I spoke to thousands of veterinarians over the period of 5 years. And what I thought, what I found, what I felt there is we are technically very much sound. What we need is more of soft skills, which is not being taught in any STEM institutes, including veterinary science. So when our graduates come out, when we are freshers, we try to learn. Some learn, but others don't. So in somewhere in the midlife, we feel the need of upskilling ourselves. So in this working, education, earning money, we forget about what is life all about. So there are some essentials of life, like survival, enjoying good health, personal family, and happiness, etc. You can see on slide. But there are add-ons. We work for these add-ons, and we forget that we are working for these add-ons. Spending joyful days, having fun, having smile, having laughter, having a contented life, growing wise each day. It's important. It's an important part of our growing. Not only should we have a good house, good car, all the material, but we should have all these things about giving back and finding its purpose. These are the add-ons we are working hard to get. So how we are going to achieve this work-life balance? I want an interactive class. It is very difficult for me to just carry on, but still, I will just share few things and then I'll come to you all for feedback. Achieving work-life balance is any balance cannot be held for long. It cannot be achieved once for all. You have to keep balancing. Balancing is the act of balancing, so that you have to add something, you have to remove something. Every time you add some valuable things and you remove some things which are not very valuable. So while doing that, there are only 5 points in work-life balance, which when I contemplated in last 4 days, when the members were increasing, I thought I shouldn't go unprepared, so I was contemplating. While contemplating, only 5 things. We can just round it about in five items. Our work-life balance, our whole life, we can actually do it in 5 items, 5 or maximum 6 to keep balancing. So, what are those 5 items? Next slide, please. Most important thing is to define your work. How are you going to define your work? Work has to be defined in the terms of time and space. How much time you are going to, if you want to, all these points are only if you want to achieve work-life balance. When you achieve work-life balance, when you work on all these 5 points. Please, next slide. Next slide, please, IT section. What are these points? Work, define your work. Next slide, again next slide. I am going fast, please, IT sector, be alert. So, define your work, time and space. So, you stick to specific hour for your work. You designate a specific area for your work, you will work in this area. You can, if you do these two things, you will finish the things in very quick time. You can, that's workspace can be shared. I have told mix and match can be shared. Workplace can be shared with your life space. How? At your workplace, you can bring in your family, you can bring in anybody, but not the vice versa. Don't bring in your work into your life space. So that is how you define your work and life space. Set some boundaries for technology. Sometimes we take a presentation and we work hours together, days together, even months together, we never finish it. Sometimes we read an article, we keep it somewhere and we search for it, lot of time is wasted. So don't waste such time. Technology should be worked as a tool. So that is one. Time. Next is time. These 5 points which we can wound up our work-life balance is, one is defining work, one is time, then is personal life management, another is stress management, and last one is communication. So in this personal life management, I would like to, can you show the personal life management? In personal life management, please don't bring in, motto should be, do not disturb. Always. You can be disturbed. We actually do otherwise. We professional, we actually do. Please don't disturb me in work. I am working. For whom you are working? For yourself? For your peers? Your family? Or what? So when you are working, your life can come in. Life is more important than your work. We have to understand that. You can bring in your life anytime. But you cannot bring in work in your lifetime. If you bring that, the balance will be gone. So when you bring in work in your personal lifetime, then, so the motto should be, do not disturb. And it is not easy. My friends, it's not easy. You have to sacrifice many things. I have sacrificed my government job after working 15 years. Just 5 years were pending. 15 years, after working 15 years, I have continued for 5 years, I should have got lifelong pension. And many of my friends said, what, you are losing your identity. No, I am achieving my work-life balance. I am not losing my identity, I am achieving my work-life. I am thinking about my life, what to do with my life, what will make me happy. So all these things, if you are doing that in right time, will you give you fruits so sweet that you will never regret the decisions or the sacrifice you have made. Next slide, please. Stress management. This is something which I want to cover very in a kind of detailed manner. And stress management, I don't know how much you people are interested, but I have prepared some notes also. Separately, I will share those 2 slides with you to how to go about managing your stress. It is nothing new, but I am just giving you a simple understanding into stress, not the chemical imbalance or not the physical things you go through it, but practical thing how we are going to manage the stress. Because stress is causing so much loss in our society nowadays. And we are losing very good people also, at a very young age also. That is the reason we have to work on stress. Each and young or old. Many seniors are here. Dr. Anil Farke, Dr. Prapash Babu Rao, Korvankar sir, Reddy sir. So many people, Gopal sir, so many people are there. They are much more experienced than me. But I dare say that please, you have to work on your work-life balance, and you have to always keep working on your stress. So there are, in stress management, there are causes of stress. Again, it comes to 5 things. I will just hurriedly read it out. And causes are something, you are all veterinary doctors, cause is something different and triggers are something different. There are triggers also. So what are the causes of stress? Work-related pressures, financial concerns, relationship issues, health and wellness, and expectations. So 2 areas which we all need to work is health and wellness and expectation. Expectation of extended family members, expectation of spouse, expectation of society, expectation of standard norms, personal expectation, and often it is a combination of all these factors which we keep on working, overworking and overexerting yourself, and it causes a damage to your health and wellness. So this stress, some people have health and wellness issues before stress, and some people get health and wellness issues after stress. So it becomes a cycle. It becomes a cycle of stress and health. It is very difficult to get out of that cycle. So I will share these two-page notes with you. Please identify your own triggers and your own causes. Once you identify your own triggers and your own causes, you can circle it. Not everything will be for everybody. Maybe you only have 1 point, but some may have 3 or 4 points. When you identify that, anything can be treated once it is identified. Once you identify your cause, then it will become easier to manage the things. So what are the possible triggers? Possible triggers for young people can be moving places, job loss, digital overload, technology overload, WhatsApp groups, cyberbullying, or significant transition in the life. Maybe their children are growing into adult, maybe their children are going into adolescence, so such things. Maybe there is some trauma of the past, maybe there are some baggage of hurt at the past. All these things are listed in those lists. Please go through that list and identify. And I will ask our Secretary Sir's permission. He doesn't allow anything on the VIP group. That is very good. I appreciate that the group remains sanctuary. But some things like work-life balance, some things which can be shared, one day at least in a month, we should keep for sharing all these things. When are we going to share all these things? Many things are scientific things which we can share on the WhatsApp group. Some presentations, some points, some discussions. So we should keep some days aside for these things. So I've spoken about possible triggers, and I will speak about how to manage the stress. So there are again in this, enhancing communication skill is one of the way to all. Time management is also one of the way. But everyone experiences stress very differently. So everyone should use the technique differently. Not one medicine will be suitable for all. You see the lacking part. What is the lacking part? Whether it is exercise, this is lacking in my life. Whether it is nutrition, that is lacking in my life. Whether it is love, that is lacking in my life. We often neglect affection and love, which is very, very important part of our life. हम लोग भूल जाते हैं कि हम लोगों को जीने के लिए सबसे ज़्यादा ज़रूर हवा, पानी और खाने के बाद में घर नहीं रहेगा तो चलेगा, गाड़ी नहीं रहेगी तो चलेगा, मगर love and affection is one part which keeps us healthy. So we have to make effort to keep that love and affection in your life. That affection will take you long way to beat your stress. That affection will take you long way to keep yourself healthy. It is very hard to maintain all these things, but you have to set priorities, always set priorities. What are my priorities? Initial days of my, nobody is in initial days here, I suppose. Very early years, except madam, nobody is here in early years of their career. Everybody has done few years of work in poultry. So now it is, once balance is lost, it is difficult to attain. But if you keep balance, just like you remember how you learn cycling, if you keep pedaling again and again and try to keep the balance will be better. You have to take out few points, you have to take in few points. Always keep a check on yourself, whether you are balancing. I am very happy. My wife is a very loving and affectionate person. But you never know when the curd will go sour. You never know when your child will start talking back to you. You never know what will happen. You never know what is going to happen tomorrow. So whatever the days you have, please see that you are not stressed. You are into a healthy environment, affectionate environment. I am going to call few volunteers. I am going to call some questions also. I am going to take some questions. And with this stress, major topic is covered, but stress can be reduced by expression. And one way, very good way to express is enhancing your communication skill. There are so many ways to enhance your communication skill, not only verbal, but now we are coming to an interesting part. Communication, when we say communication between two gender is most important thing which STEM people should learn. how do you communicate with opposite gender is a very important science, and it has been developed very nicely. Many good books are on that. So I wish everybody start working from communication. Once you start working with communication, you go to nutrition, then you go to health, and then you can manage stress. Otherwise, if you don't express properly, it is very difficult. Verbal communication is one thing, non-verbal communication is another thing. Active listening is very major part of the communication, but most of us don't do active listening. We ask a question, many of you. How many of you ask a question in your family member? I'll just take husband and wife's example. You ask a question to your wife, mostly are men, so I'll go for men. So you ask a question to your wife and you never wait for an answer. How many of you do that? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand. How many of you neglect your answer from your wife? You ask a question, but you neglect the answer. 101% I'm telling you. 101%. I want 100 hands up. You neglect the answer. You never listen. You only ask question. No, my husband does. My husband does. he listens because I have been training him, and he has this presentation has become very limited because I cannot use him as an example. He has requested me not to use me. Don't make me scapegoat. You do that many times. But I will say what I have experienced and what I have shared with my friends, girlfriends. Okay. So, active listening is a very important part. Clear messaging. Clear messaging is very important part of listening also and responding also. Clear messaging. Now, why I initially said that there is a gender difference between communication. When how many people have heard from their wives saying, "Where are you going? Where are you going now?" What does she mean? Where are you going now? Yeah, she means, please don't go. She means, please don't go now. Right now you are needed here. Please don't go. So, so communication with ladies is very difficult. I understand. It is never direct. It is always indirect. Always indirect. It is never direct. You have to understand the hidden meaning, what they are saying. Huh? So, again you are going. Why? You are always going outside. You are always going for AGMs, and you are going for, and you never take me. What does that mean? You are hearing that she means that you shouldn't go. No, no. She is saying that I want to be part of wherever you are going. I want to be near you. And when she says, what do you understand? That means you are not understanding me. So, it is not as general. She is not rejecting you as a general, as a person. You are not understanding the situation, or you are not understanding me. You have to be more attentive in doing that. So it is a very interesting topic, and we can go on and on for that. But I have been given a time limit for that. So you can individually come back. I take many communication classes, and maybe you can, it's very difficult for me also to face 150 veterinarians, and for you also to come, knowing that I will be there in the fraternity to come up with your questions. I understand that challenge. So empathy and empathy is one of the basic thing in communication. You can communicate, person will hear you, only you will empathize with him. If you are not caring, you are not empathizing, they will also listen from the one side and leave it. So empathy is another one. Then cultural awareness and inclusiveness is, these are the skills which we have to learn. These are not only words, these are not the fancy words which are spoken in boardroom. We need to learn. I learned communication just to communicate with my kids. I learned, I got time, I got opportunity, and I sacrificed many things to learn all these things. I am a voracious reader. I read 2 or 3 hours daily, and I started with self-help. Why self-help? I am not all that good. Why self-help? Because I was bashed in my family, relative, or you can't speak nicely. You don't know how to speak. because I kept hurting people. I was very blunt, I was very straightforward. So I had to learn how to communicate. And once I learned to communicate, then I knew the benefits of it, not only in relationship, but in outside world, in doing your work, while and reducing your stress. And in communication plays a major tool in your achieving life and work balance. So you have to learn all these things: inclusiveness, diversity, the person, other person whom you are communicating, how, from where he is, what he is doing, what stage of life he must be, what gender he is, what ethnicity he is from, or all these things are very important in communication. So these are the 5 tools, very simple 5 tools: communication, stress, maintaining personal life balance, time management, and defining your work. I have just enlisted in a reverse form, because you have to work in a reverse form only. Then only you will. If you try to go directly attack stress, nothing is going to happen. That is why people fail in achieving work-life balance, or that is why people fail, because we have to take steps, we have to give commitment, we have to be very patient and consistent in doing that. So next few slides, I think all the slides are over. So, so okay. So let me invite few of you, I don't know, who will volunteer to come and to discuss these things. Do we have time, Dr. Santosh? He is the one who planned and asked for invitation. So,
only one we can take.
Okay. Okay. So please, volunteers, can you come? I want young people to come in and tell me what is the problem. Nobody is young here. Please, youth, people with 5 years less experience, 5 years less experience. Please, now this is very bad. I worked 4 days for this presentation, and nobody's, people with less than 10 years experience. Please, people with less than, I am not going to grill you. You have to discuss among yourself. Don't worry. Pankaj, Sushil sir, who is there? Kamre sir is coming. Yeah, I can. He is from NV, so I can order him around with Pankaj. Yeah, please, please.
Thank you, madam. Your presentation is really thrilling, honestly. And after a heavy lunch, this was really energetic for everyone. My name is Dr. Ramdas Kamble. I'm NVC graduate from, just like madam, and probably everybody knows. Now, madam has taken a very sensitive, very important subject, work-life balance. So, I would like to share my experience, how to balance and how I balance the work-life balance, because I started from technical as a nutritionist to then to the CEO, now the entrepreneur. So this is, what is called as not that easy journey, to be precise. So point is, when you, I think everybody heard about in the business, have you heard about 10, 20, 30, 40? Have you heard about this? No? Madam, yes. 10, 20, 30, 40. Life is 100, right? Okay, 30, 60, you know. Okay. Okay, sir, that will happen after 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m. No doubt about it. But okay, guys, this is very, very practical experience. When I was attending one training in Ahmedabad, so I was going through this one, how to balance the work life, because everybody's, madam said, stress is very, very, killing the people, young people especially. Though 40, I will start the reverse. 40, you have to work only 40% of time. Only 40%, not more than that. You understand? 24 घंटे में सिर्फ 40% ही काम करना है, उससे ज़्यादा करने की जरूरत नहीं. If you are doing more than that, you are bull, you are bail. Seriously. Okay? 30% you have to give the time to your family, because that is your additional responsibility. And this was taught in Ahmedabad. It was very nice training. And another 20, you have to be socialized. You have to be social. Okay? So whatever you are doing, you have the friend circle and all those things, you have to be social. And 10%, guys, this is very important, 10%, you have to spend on you only, nothing else. कोई जरूरत नहीं है, बायको पूरा भाड़ा गेले चुलित. So at least this 10% of your time, you have to work for yourself. Okay, guys? ये मेरा गुरु मंत्र है भाई, इसे ज़्यादा कुछ नहीं बोल सकता मैं. Thank you.
Yes, I agree with him that you should spend time with. There was one slide, but it went on. So you should you should spend time with yourself and with your peers also. And there should be you should look for healthy ways to de-stress yourself. Too much of word of caution, not for today, please. Too much of caffeine or too much of alcohol will only add to your stresses and health problems. So what he said, 10% of time, I will say, give more than that to yourself. Just soak your body in tub, or maybe go for saloon, or maybe just spend time with yourself, then you understand your life better. It is not necessary to do pranayam, just quietly sit with yourself. Just watch tree and sit with yourself. It is very beneficial for you. And splashing water is also one of the very calming, and health benefits are a lot. And stress relieving, just splash water. Even if it is if it is a rainy season and you have to go for a vegetable, please wear chappals rather than shoes. I showed it in one of my slides, because running water under your feet will calm you down. Small activities to calm yourself, small activities to make yourself happy are very important. Prime responsibility is to keep yourself happy. If a happy person can keep and raise a happy family. Again, I am stressing, keeping other person is not your responsibility. Giving a guidance to other person how to be happy is your responsibility. But keeping them happy, don't overwork for that. If you overwork to keep other people happy, anyone other than yourself, if you are overworking to keep other people happy, then you are losing a part of yourself, which you should give yourself. You are depriving yourself your time and trying to keep other person happy. That is not going to help you in long term. So you have to set boundaries, you have to set priorities, and you have to work. Thank you for the time you have.